Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Got a big game Saturday at home against Richmond Hill, but first let's go back to the Tuesday night game at Ware County, a barn burner, 51-49, something like that.
It was. We had a slow start in the beginning. We took some good shots and we were doing some things right, but we couldn't hit. We we were having a problem getting started. What we got in foul trouble early. My two big scorers so far have been Tania Ward and Mia Height. Both of them got in foul trouble early. Mia sat on the bench much of the first half being in foul trouble, and Tania ended up being on the bench a lot in the third quarter. We were fortunate to bring them both back in the fourth quarter, get a lead. We got up by about maybe 8. They started fouling, and we were able to hang on in the end by 3.
Well, again, off to a nice 4-0 start. That's always fun to stay unbeaten in the early part of the season. That's the goal, win every game, sure, but hard to do. What about the region this year? Who's going to be strong in the region and girls as far as the basketball?
The region's going to be tough. Last year we all were about the same. Us, New Hampstead, Burke County, Liberty County. We all were battling for those top spots. Burke County, they were last year's region champs. They lost a few players, but New Hampstead, Liberty, they're all bringing those back. New Hampstead and Liberty will probably be the two teams looking to beat.
But tell us who's on the roster this year. You said you got it memorized. That's pretty strong.
That is good.
Coach Kyle brought notes out.
We have Tania Ward, Mia Height, and Jamara Nixon. Those are all returning seniors. They're all starters. Martina Davidson, she has stepped up this year. She's a junior. She is taking on right now the 5th starting position. We have Monty Trice, she's returning point guard. Coming off the bench is our 6 and 7 man. We have Chandler Henderson. We look for her to do a lot of outside shooting this year. Her shot's gotten better. She's a really good athlete. She's been able to help us so far. We have Alex Thomas. She's a sophomore this year. We look for really good things out of her. She's strong under the basket. She's a strong rebounder. She steps in a lot when we need her in the end of the game. She's been playing a lot this season, and she really has helped us in some of these close games in the end. We have Alexis Durr. She's a returning sophomore. Becca Bennett, returning sophomore. Nakia Davis. She's came to us from Arthur Williams last year. She's standing strong at 6 foot. She'll be getting some playing time this season. Tierra De Souza. She's a returning sophomore. And Bree Wilson, she's a freshman. She comes to us from Martha Puckett.
Okay, so again, off to a nice 4-0 start. We make it 5-0 against Richmond Hill. We'll win about those Lady Wildcats.
I hope so. It's my alma mater.
So you're familiar with them.
Yeah. Their coach and their assistant coach are both girls that I played high school ball with. So I'm sure they know a lot of what I'm trying to do. I know a good bit of what they're trying to do. It'll be a good game.
Who's on your staff? Who's helped you out?
We have Bragg Thompson and Olivia Jern. Both of them, Bragg coached with Coach Grooms, the football staff, and Olivia Jern also coaches the boys and girls tennis team at the high school.
So they're helping you on the basketball. Right?
Yes.
Okay, well, again, looking forward to Saturday's game against Richmond Hill. Looking forward, when's the region schedule start after the first of the year?
Right, we'll start region schedule in January.
And the same as football, top 4 get in.
That's right.
But it's all about positioning. So how do you got, as you mentioned, Tania Ward and Mia Height, too. That's a good 1-2 combination. Mm-hmm. They feed off each other pretty good and pretty much lead the way.
Yeah, they are definitely two powerhouses in there. They rotate who has a. They're not selfish. They rotate with who's having the better game, or when one isn't doing, when one isn't on as much as they have been in the past, the other one will step up. Tania is a great outside shooter. She has a great jump shot right in the lane. Mia is strong. She goes to the hole a lot. Gets a lot of. She draws a lot of fouls. Gets a lot of. Their other team's big girls in foul trouble. That's been helpful. They both. They're both just great athletes.
And the JV, I think their first game Saturday as well. Who's coaching the JV this year?
Olivia Jern has a JV.
She has JV.
Right.
So a lot of talent coming up from the JV.
We hope so.
Well, again, always good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Wish you the best of luck.
How long have you been coaching basketball?
This is my second year in Wayne County. I coached for 1 year in Long County.
Oh, okay. Did you play basketball as a sport? You said that was your alma mater?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Richmond Hill's where I went to high school at.
Okay, so you played basketball there, and so you just, where'd you go to college?
At Georgia Southern.
Okay, and then you just decided to get into coaching.
Yes, I did.
What do you teach?
I teach special ed, 10th grade geometry.
Oh, 10th grade geometry.
Yep.
What one of my specialty classes? How about you, Bob? Math and me just maybe break out in highs. That's the reason why we went to journalism. And do you have any family here in town?
I do. My dad is from Odom, so it was nice being able to come over here. I have aunts and uncles that live here,
Okay.
and it's been nice to be over here for that because growing up, we came and saw them a lot, but they weren't here every weekend like they are now. So
Okay.
that's
All
been
right.
good to have.
So good to have family here in town.
It is.
When you take a new job and new position and everything, right?
Right, definitely.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We appreciate you coming in, and good luck this season. Bob will be keeping up with you with the highlights and with the scores of the girls team, and wish you the best here in your second season here at Wayne County High School.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We'll be back more of the world famous Butch and Bob show in a minute.
Hospitals, places where healing happens. They foster health and represent hope. From providing treatment and comfort to the sick, to welcoming new life into the world, hospitals are mainstays in healthy, optimistic communities. Being technologically savvy and having equipment rivaling that of large hospitals, Wayne Memorial offers cutting-edge procedures with world-class personalized care. Such care is provided by a team consisting of specialists, driving in from larger hospital systems, as well as our local physicians we've come to know so well. Healthcare delivered locally saves a patient time, money, and the hassle of traveling out of town. We are here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have a choice in your healthcare, and we thank you for choosing us every day. Wayne Memorial Hospital, caring for the community.
808, 105.5 FM Majestic, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, and girls starting off good this season.
Yeah, nice 4-0 start.
And once again, the coach's name is?
Kayla Hobbs.
Kayla Hobbs.
She was Kayla Hires, but she just recently got married.
Oh, she did, huh? Okay. She recently got married. She was Kayla Hires, now Hobbs.
Her dad's Pig Hires that coached years ago.
Oh, okay.
He coached 3 state titles in Richmond Hill. So.
Oh, well, no wonder he's yelling at her from the side.
It's fine. She said her dad's up there yelling at her, and her uncle Catfish is up there yelling at the rest. So they got them both covered.
That's funny. So Catfish is her uncle, huh?
All right.
All right. When I lived in Odom, I used to see him walking around there all the time.
He's still walking.
Yeah. They say that walking briskly, not just a little stroll down the sidewalk, but walking briskly is the best exercise that you can do. If you're going to pick one, that's the best one, walking briskly. I mean, it's putting a pep in your step and getting that heart rate up.
All right.
I guess it's because of, the way that we evolved as human beings from eons ago, that walking briskly is the most efficient form of exercise. Better than jogging, swimming, all that kind of stuff like that. If you're going to pick one, that's, it's going to help you stay in shape, lose weight, and be best on your body, walking briskly. Isn't that what you do, Bob?
I don't know if I walk briskly, but I've been walking.
I see some people walking. It's like they're taking a Sunday stroll in the afternoon in the park. I'm like, put some pep in your step out there.
I can't stay up with the Energizer Rabbit. Becky Sheffield says she's
Becky really puts it on, huh? She turns on those afterburners. Huh?
She walks briskly.
That's how you're supposed to walk. Way to go, Becky.
I just walks.
You just walk. Dee-dee. Walking briskly is a very efficient form of exercising. So anybody can do that, just about. So when does the next time the basketball teams play, Bob?
Saturday.
Okay.
You're at home against Richmond Hill.
Okay, against Richmond Hill. So going out there and to the Benny Ratliff Arena this Saturday and watch the girls and boys play.
First time JV plays. The JV boys play at 2. The girls play at 2. The boys play at 3:30. So that's their first game of the season. The JV teams.
Okay. All right. We got somebody up front. Is Jonathan still here?
I don't think so.
No, he can't go. Jonathan can't go anywhere. Who do we have up front? I don't know. Who do we have up front? I don't know.
Jonathan's on his way. I can hear him.
Jonathan's hobbling up that way, but Jonathan's leg's still healing. He's still going around here with his crutches and little cart that he puts his leg on to move around the station and so forth. But we do have somebody up front, and they're over in the green room right now, enjoying the blue M&Ms and boiled peeled shrimp. So we'll find out who that is. All right, Bob, anything news-wise going on that you want to comment on this morning?
Just like I said, in court all week. Another child molestation case gets underway early this morning. Plea being taken 8:45, so headed back to court today. Judge Scarlett had the day off yesterday because that first case was supposed to take a couple of days, but only lasted 1 day. So, and the jury deliberated a record 9 minutes.
9? Is that about the quickest you've ever seen
the
a jury?
quickest I've ever seen. Long-time DA Richard Malone was there. I asked him if he'd ever seen anyone quicker. He said he couldn't recall, but I told him it takes 5 minutes to fill out the form. You know, they got to go.
5 minutes to fill out a form, 4 minutes.
If there's
here's Nancy to help Jonathan up front with whoever our guest is.
If there ever was a slam dunk case, Monday's case was a slam dunk. So
okay,
I can understand why it only took 9 minutes. So
okay. Well, witnesses, DNA, the whole thing.
They didn't put up any defense. It was just a sad case, but
yeah,
you know, you can just see that. You know, you hate to get picked as a juror, but to be a juror in that kind of case is just a tough thing too. So you just see the, you know, but watching the jury, you just see the anger in their face. The more they heard, the more sick they got. So, like I said, I can understand why they were only there 9 minutes, but that was awfully quick. Like I said, that's in 31 years, I've never seen a jury come back that quick. In fact, Perry Morgan was the lead detective, and when the jury went to the deliberation room, he said, "How long do you think it's going to take?" I said, "Less than 30 minutes. I mean, they're not going to be back there long." But then also they knocked on the door in 9 minutes. I was like, wow.
The impact statements that you had on the air just, I mean, it was touching on the radio. I know in court it had to be really touching the juror's heart.
It was just a very,
the judge's heart.
Yeah, the judge got to hear the jury didn't, they were gone, they didn't have to listen to that, but the judge listens to it. Like I said, and I think Katie Cropper said it best. I think the judge was impacted by the impact statements and gave the harshest sentence. But they asked for the harsh sentence. They said he never showed any remorse, never said he was sorry. So I said, it's just, these are tough cases to sit through and watch. If you're selected as a juror, you know, it's a tough thing to do. I mean, that's why a lot of people have tried to avoid jury duty at all costs.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that those type of charges and guilty verdicts, and for the folks who go into prison because of these kind of charges, are the least liked of any of the inmates in a prison.
The sad thing, like I told people, the court docket's 30 pages long. There's 22 child molestation cases on the docket.
22 and 31.
22 and 130 pages. There's there's like 5 or 6 cases on each page.
Okay.
But in the 30-page criminal calendar, there's 22 of these cases on the docket that they're trying to get through and have jury trials. That's why there's another one set for today at 9 o'clock.
So another one set for today.
All right.
It's the state versus
Eugene Adams.
Okay, another child molestation case. Okay. And you're going to be at court covering that? Okay. All right. Well, the court cases just continue there at the courthouse. That's the reason why if you ride around today, you'll see a bunch of cars out there. Is it going on in the old courthouse or the new courtroom?
The new courtroom. All the jury trials are in the new courtroom because of security and things like that. So.
Yeah. Well, I heard this morning that that mastermind behind the Paris bombings was killed in a raid yesterday there in France. So, you know, he might have done some damage there, but that's the last thing he'll do.
France, that was the big story, the big raid yesterday in France. They're not playing around.
They're not playing around. You know, we may have leaders that may play around, but that French president, he's not playing around. He's already, I mean, the day, a few hours afterwards, their jets was already bombing there in Syria. And he didn't mince words. He says, this is war. And you like to see a leader with backbone there that's trying to protect his citizens as much as he possibly can. He's taken the title of commander-in-chief seriously.
Everybody apparently knows it's a war except our president. He hasn't been able to say those words yet. I just heard on Fox News that Hillary's going to give her a plan on how she's going to do it. I can't wait to hear that.
Well, Donald's just came out with a plan, and let me tell you, it's something that any commander-in-chief who takes the spot seriously would like, and anybody else who's looking after the security of our citizens. Donald Trump has got some really harsh plans for terrorists, and it'll be interesting to learn more about that and the other folks running for presidency, what their plans are. You can't mess around. You just cannot let people just walk across borders into your country without a complete background check and have them registered and everything else. Just open to the borders and say, oh, we got to be compassionate. Yes, you got to be compassionate. There's no doubt about that. We all know that. But you've also got to protect the citizens of the country from an economic standpoint, from a terrorist standpoint, from a health standpoint, and all that. You've got to do that. That's got to be the number one goal there when you let refugees or citizens into the United States for any reason at all. And I think that a lot of the European governments over there are starting to see that you just can't open the borders. You've got to do a complete background check. You've got to keep them contained and check them out health-wise, security-wise, and everything else.
I think the French president is coming to the United States next week to meet with President Obama and try to get him to join in this war against terrorism. So it's going to be interesting to see what the response is. So.
Yeah. Well, that terrorist that got killed yesterday, the mastermind, bragged about how he was just able to go across border to border to border. I know that yesterday that either 8 or 9 Syrians were detained at the United States-Mexican border. Some of them trying to get in with other folks coming in. You've got to take that seriously. And I don't understand leaders who don't take that seriously, where you've got to close up the borders and then folks who want to get in, you check them out thoroughly, every way, and then you give them the right documentation to be in the country. And then if they want to apply for citizenship to be able to get benefits and pay taxes and be part of the society, then yes. But France learned the hard way, and the president over there is not taking things lightly. This is war. And he went after him.
He's called it World War III. The Pope's called it World War III. So a lot of people believe it is a world war. So it's just be interesting. I said it just hypes up the presidential campaign to see what each candidate has to say, what their solutions are. So very interesting. I said they just announced that Hillary Clinton's supposed to give out her plan. So be interesting to see what her plan is.
Yeah, it will be interesting what her plan is. It will be. All right, but the presidential election, we're just a few months away, about 3 months away from the first primaries in New Hampshire and Iowa and all that coming up in February. So things are starting the pedal's starting to get metal here as the candidates are really getting serious.
And Georgia's is March the 1st. That's what the day we're going to have that special election for the school board as well. So,
right.
But that's on that day, there's like 8 states. I think Brian Kemp, Secretary of State, said it called the Southeast.
Yeah, they call it, I can't remember the official name of it. There's some name for it.
I've got the interview in there. Yeah, I have to go back and listen to it, but he gave it a name. But there's like 8 states in the South that are going primary day that day on March the 1st.
Okay.
I think it's Georgia, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, just like the SEC, the voting is going to take place on March the 1st. So.
It's going to be interesting to see who is the leader of the Republican Party. You've got the established candidates, folks who've been politicians and elected officials for quite a few years, and you got folks like Donald Trump and Ben Carson, isn't that right, or Carson? Carson, Ben Carson, who are basically outsiders when it comes to politics, and they're leading right now. I mean, I know that when Obama was elected the first time, he's not really an outsider per se, but he had only been a senator for a couple of years before he started running, so he wasn't, entrenched in politics for a long time like some of these other ones are. So are folks looking for that outsider, somebody new, fresh, with the different ideas? It'll be interesting to find out.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if the leaders can maintain their lead because they show the history. People like Howard Dean led at this time.
Oh, yeah.
Faded. Herman Cain led at this time. Faded.
So Gary Hart. A lot of them did back.
Have led at this point in the process never get the nomination.
They just cannot make mistakes, and that's the thing you worry with folks. Donald Trump's supporters worry about the fact that his mouth is going to get him in trouble. But so far it hasn't. No matter what he said, it seems to bolster his electability. Folks kind of like his honesty and his shoot from the hip type of talking.
I think what's helped him, he's the first one who jumped on this. Build a wall, protect the
immigration,
like
protect the citizens, take commander-in-chief seriously.
See all this stuff taking place, it just helps his cause. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, there's so many Americans out there that see their jobs lost, especially in the lower income levels. Too, all these immigrants that have come in, these millions of immigrants. You've got Americans that, growing up here, pay tax and all that, losing their jobs to folks who just walk across the border and they sign up and get benefits and jobs and all that kind of stuff like that, and haven't paid their dues, and good old Americans are losing their jobs to them.
He's a very successful businessman as well. So, a lot of people believe government's running like a business, so they think he might be. I said he's maintained his lead up to this point, and I said he hasn't said anything to get him in trouble. People seem to be drawn to him everywhere he goes. He's drawn big crowds.
Major crowds. Yeah.
So,
and then on the Democratic side, you got two established politicians, both of them, around 70 years old. I think Hillary's 69, 70, somewhere along there. And Bernie's about the same age. Older folks, been around for a long time, been in politics forever. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens on that side.
we know what's happening on that side.
Yeah, Hillary's going to win.
Right.
I mean, Bernie's still in the lead right now, but that's what they said against Obama. But when she was running against him years ago, but she doesn't seem to be making the same mistakes. And all the fireballs has been thrown at her because of Benghazi and the emails and all that kind of stuff like that. She's been able to knock those away, and they've just kind of hadn't stuck to her. So she seems to be getting through all that pretty easily. Not easily, but without being scathed and scarred or anyway.
Unless she gets indicted, she's the nominee, and she's not getting indicted. The president's going to see to it that she doesn't get indicted. So
if she gets elected, what do we call Bill? Is it you can't call him First Lady? I mean, what do you call him? First Dude? First Gentleman?
First Dog?
First something or another.
Let's hope that day doesn't go.
I don't really. Will he be the hostess of the dinners and stuff like that?
Hopefully, we're not going that way.
I don't know. We'll see on that. That's just interesting. You would think on the Democratic side that there would be some hot young talent like Obama was, but there hasn't. You got the two older folks around 70 years old that are running. Now on the Republican side, you do have some younger folks in there that are in their 40s and so forth like that, all running and seem to be doing pretty well. But it'll be interesting to see. Yeah,
they tried hard to get Biden to put his hat in the ring, but he just was not by it. Right. So
you got to put your everything into it.
But they say if she did get indicted, he would jump back in. So we'll see. But like I said, the chances of her being indicted are just very slim. I don't see that happening.
Yeah. A lot of connections, political connections the Clintons have. A lot of favors owed, a lot of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with all that. Politics can be very interesting or it can be very sickening sometimes. It's however you take a look at it.
I still like to see the debate between her and the Republican female, Lorena.
Oh, yeah.
That would be must-see TV.
Yeah. All right, it's a Thursday, which means there's probably football tonight. What's going on football-wise tonight?
Jacksonville's in action tonight. I said headed to Jacksonville to see the Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. Jonathan's trying to rain on our parade in Jacksonville 3-7, just one game out of the division lead.
That's right. Just the way the rules are set up. You win the division, you get into the playoffs. It doesn't matter what your record is.
As long as you get in. I just hope they can build on the excitement. They finally snapped that losing streak. They lost 13 straight on the road, but win at Baltimore last Sunday on the last-second field goal. So I'm hoping they can use that momentum and come back here tonight, win, and then win next Sunday against San Diego. And
who do they play tonight?
Tennessee.
Titans are coming to town.
Every Thursday night they have these new uniforms too, so both teams will be wearing those crazy uniforms. I don't know if you watched last Thursday's game with Buffalo all in red. And
they said folks were colorblind. Couldn't see red and green. Red on one side and green on the other side.
It'll be interesting to see what the uniforms look like tonight, but that's the big thing with Thursday night. They're making these players wear these certain uniforms.
Oh, okay. Trying to spice things up with cool-looking uniforms, huh?
All about selling merchandise and making
money. Yeah, it's always about the money, honey. This is a business, Bob. It's not for pleasure. It's business out there on the field.
And people buy it up after the game, so.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a good Christmas present, Kids are saying, Mommy, I want that uniform. Okay, we'll get it.
Okay, so you got Jacksonville playing then against Tennessee. What about collegiate, college-wise?
I'm sure there's a game on tap. I just don't know.
You just don't know what it is? Okay. All right.
Then checked. And I said, we game on board by Saturday. Is the Georgia.
Are you going up to that game between Georgia and Georgia Southern?
No, they changed it to a night game, so I'm going to pass.
You're gonna pass,
I was going to go if it was a day game, but I said I don't want to go up and spend the night and all that.
Yeah, I know some folks going up and spend the night, that kind of stuff. So
I know Georgia Southern fans seem more excited about the game than we do.
First, they're excited, man. They have a chance to go up there. I mean, they're in a no-lose situation. They're supposed to lose, and so if they lose, they say, well, we're supposed to. If they win, it's going to be like, you're going to hear Georgia Southern fans all over the state yelling and screaming.
Georgia Southern's got a good football program, good football team. They scare me to death.
They do.
Anytime you go to the swamp, they win the swamp.
Yeah, Florida remembers that game against Georgia Southern very well.
We don't want that memory.
No, we do not want that memory. Not at all.
We need to win.
That's right. We need for Grayson to get out there and throw some good passes.
If they let him throw the ball.
Yeah, if they let him throw the ball. You got one of the best passers in the country out there, and you put a horse collar on him. I don't understand it.
Big game though, 7 o'clock. Saturday night, go Dogs.
Okay.
Georgia Tech's at Miami Saturday. We'll have that game for you on AM 1370.
Right. We'll have that game for you on AM 1370. And then, of course, Saturday week, that big game in Atlanta, Bobby Dodd Stadium between Georgia and Georgia Tech. Do you know what the kickoff time on that is yet?
I have not heard.
Okay.
I hope it's an afternoon game.
You hope it's an afternoon? Yeah.
I mean, like 1 o'clock.
You'd go to it if it was up?
I'll be up there.
Oh, you will be there?
Yeah, I'll be in that area. So if they change it to a 1 o'clock game or keep it a 1 o'clock game,
be there or be square.
it'd be hard to not hit that way.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been in Bobby Dodd Stadium. We used to carry Georgia Tech football on our FM station up there in Aiken, South Carolina, which is right across the river from Augusta. And so used to get tickets to it all the time and every so often go over to the Tech games. But I haven't been to a Tech game, well, I don't think since I purchased the radio station in 92. I don't think I've been. 23 years.
Great rival game. Still have the book, Clean Old-Fashioned Hate.
Mm-hmm. Clean old-fashioned hate. But all these games like rival games, don't really hold a candle when it comes to the Alabama-Auburn rivalry, the Iron Bowl. It's amazing if you're over in Alabama. I mean, it splits families, friends, households, everything else over there. It's just amazing. The Georgia Tech game is a big rival, but it's nothing compared to Alabama-Auburn. And that's just amazing the way that rivalry is over there in Alabama. All right, Bob, anything else on your mind this morning? Anything just popping around those brain cells this morning you want to talk about?
Not really.
Not really?
Any brain cells?
No brain cells this morning, huh?
Not this morning.
Okay. Well, we do want to invite everybody to go to the Trial Hickox house this afternoon, starting at 5:30 for the ribbon cutting and Christmas open house. It's an historic house. I think it was built in 1902 from what they said, and been completely remodeled through the years, and now is an inn and also a place that you can, rent out for parties and events and stuff like that. And Ralph and Jamie are going to open it up for everybody to walk through it and see this historic inn here in Jessup, enjoy some refreshments and just have a good time. Ribbon cutting and Christmas open house at the Trial Hickox house located on East Cherry Street in Jessup, right there across from First Methodist.
One good thing that's going on in Wayne County, they talked about at the city meeting. Doug Lewis was there, talked about this. We reported how they merged their agencies together, police department and sheriff's department working together, but they said that a lot of good things are happening. And the war on drugs they're really taking a big stance against that. They said failure is not an option. So again, a lot of progress has been made and more stores will be coming out with more arrests and things like that. But the cooperation between the two departments is working extremely well.
That's great to hear. That is fantastic to hear.
So like I said, years ago, they said they used to have that cooperation, but they lost it somehow. But they're slowly but surely getting it back, and the departments are cooperating, and everybody's brainstorming, and they said a lot of good things are happening law enforcement-wise. So
you can get more things done when you work together, Bob. All right, have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Parker Insurance and Realty on Macon Street in downtown Jessup, across from the Heritage Bank, by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, DNC Collision Center in Scriven, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country, WIFO. It's 8:30. Let's check in with the latest news from Fox News Radio.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony. They got him. The mastermind behind last week's deadly terror attacks in France is